Hello, awesome people. I hope you're having a great day today. Today we're taking a look at Fritz Leiber's Farewell to Lankhmar. It's a fourth and final collection that collects all of his Gray Mouser and Fafhrd stuff that are set in the world, in the city of Lankhmar. That's set in the world of Newon. For you folks, it started getting published in 1939 with Two-Side Adventure. And this is and I've never actually read this collection. I bought it after I did my deep dive into the first 3 volumes, like about 15 or 20 years ago, right after college. And then I bought this afterwards, but I just was no longer in the mood, so I just never actually read it. I'll link you to this in the comments below in case you're interested in following along. This is called Sea Magic. It's about 24 pages long, and I read it last night in about 45 minutes, a little bit more. So it's a lot of fun stuff. So, as a reminder, this channel's name is The Worst Thing About New Books, a quote by a French philosopher, Jacques Joubert, who said that the worst thing about new books was that they kept us from reading the old ones. And a guy who started getting writing in the pulp era in 1939 and wrote every decade until he died in 1992. And that decade, too, early on, is definitely somebody who's a key person who's definitely an older work. And he has key works in our 3 genres that we cover, in fantasy, science fiction, and in horror. He has won a lot of awards, and he's won Hugo Awards, including this series has won some Hugo Awards, too. It's a Stoker Award in the horror genre, and he's in the Science Fiction and Fantasy Writers Hall of Fame. So let's take a look at Fritz Leiber's work, Sea Magic, and why I thought about it. So as a reminder, my reviews are spoiler-free, so we'll only be doing starting with about the first couple of pages. So basically, the previous novella, Rhyme Isle, which I just knocked out over 3 days for you folks a couple of days ago, it has an ending to it that is very, very strong. And this one continues that ending. It doesn't say, okay, well, now things have changed or moved on from it and so forth. So it keeps to what happened at the end of the first one. Now, if you recall, there is a short story that leads to Rhyme Isle called the Frost Monstry. And at the beginning of that, Fafhrd and the Gray Mouser, who are getting about middle age now, are like, we need to settle down, right? We need to stop, just trying to find new women and so forth, and constantly seeking new women, right? It's time for us to start settling down. And then 2 middle-aged women walk into the bar that they're at, and they have dinner, and they agree to take a commission from these 2 women from the Rhyme Isle that's set far away, and to defend it against an attack from some sea mingles, which are Mongols in this world, and they're about to attack. So they are brought in to defend. So that happened at the beginning of the story a couple of short stories ago, and then that actually will happen at the end, and then we'll begin to see what winds up happening at the beginning of this short story too. So what we're going to find out at the beginning of this short story is that we have 2 characters that are on the sea, and they're brother and sister, and they are going to restore the ancient gold and treasures that their people had that were stolen by the people at Rhyme Isle. So that's going to be the key thing, and then after 2 pages of that, we're going to set forward to 3 months after the events of the Rhyme Isle, and after that, we're going to now be following Fafhrd on Rhyme Isle himself, training with a bow, with a girl, and they're going to be doing some fun stuff like that on the island, and then we're going to be following him along while he's on Rhyme Isle and so forth, and doing a journey for some folks. So anyway, the Gray Mouser's not in this series. It's just Fafhrd in this series. Anyway, so what do I think about it? I think it was well written. I liked it. I was definitely enjoying it. So I'm probably going to be giving this like a 7.5 out of 10. I liked it a lot. Thought it was well done, and I enjoy what wound up happening. So I liked it. There is one characterization of Fafhrd in there that doesn't really feel like Fafhrd now at this point. So that's where I'm not really selling myself in this. But anyway, but there you are. Your mileage may vary, but I'm giving this a 7.5 out of 10 for you folks. So I mentioned how influential this kind is. Let's take a deeper dive into this. For example, this series in particular is heavily influential on modern fantasy. You can't read modern fantasy comics or novels or short stories or play video games that are set in fantasy or tabletop RPGs, that sort of thing, without encountering this stuff. For example, the thief class is created by this. Gray Mouser and Fafhrd are thieves. Also, a thieves guild is also created, and the kind of sort of the politics of a thieves guild, what it looks like. and what it's actually like in real life are key aspects of this. Also, the big giant metropolis that's a seedy metropolis, Lankhmar, that is a key setting in the name of all these collections, is also a big, with its Horror Street and its plaza of dark delights that dominates the plane, is also a key thing in a lot of planes too that have followed, that have been written. There was in a 1979 Advanced Dungeons and Dragons First Edition Dungeon Master's Guide, the co-creator of Dungeons and Dragons, Kerry Gygax, said that this is one of the most influential things on him and his game. So he actually name called it out in a reference list there. So you can tell that this is something that was heavily influential on modern fantasy just because of that. So there you are. That's my review of Seas Magic. Have you read it? If so, what'd you think about it? Let's talk about the comments below. If you enjoyed it, why not hit that subscribe button, because there could be a lot more to follow. And then finally, I want to thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and investing it in watching my video. We all have so many things that are happening in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me is incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.